Donald Trump wants to be a king. Just look at what he's doing right now to the White House. That is, of course, the people's house. It's our house as Americans, as citizens. There it is.
This week on Trump Smash, what Trump Smash is East Wing of White House? Why? For his ridiculous ballroom.
He just tore down part of the White House. Not a renovation, not a repair, a full-blown demolition. The reason? To build the most beautiful ballroom in the world. But this $250 million project, now $300 million project, isn't just about gold walls or crystal chandeliers. It's about power, control, and rewriting the rules of America itself. This might sound like satire, but it's real. President Donald Trump has bulldozed the White House's historic East Wing, the same one that stood for more than a century, to replace it with the ultimate high society ballroom, funded by private donors. He's calling it a gift to the American people. But critics say it's just the most jaw-dropping symbol of unchecked ego America has ever seen. So what's the truth behind the so-called Golden Ballroom? Who's really paying for it? And how did Trump legally bulldoze a national landmark while federal workers went unpaid during a historic shutdown? Let's get into the real story. It started in July with a midnight post on Trump's social channel, promising a spectacular addition to the White House, a 90,000 square foot ballroom using only private money. People laughed it off as another outlandish promise. Soon, though, blueprints hit the internet. Floor plans for a grand event space twice the size of the entire White House, bathed in gold, known as America's New Palace. Trump said it would be world-class, unlike anything on Earth, and claimed not one dime of taxpayer money. Skeptics, though, were already doing the math, and the numbers didn't make sense. By September, construction fences and machinery appeared in D.C. At first, the administration insisted they were modernizing with no demolition. But soon, satellite images confirmed what everyone feared. The iconic East Wing was being gutted. Marble, archives, even historic offices reduced to rubble. Trump called it the sound of progress. Yet for millions, it sounded like something being lost forever, replaced by a vision only one man could define. Here's the twist. Federal law normally blocks this kind of drastic change to the White House, but the administration found a decades-old executive loophole, originally meant for wartime or security emergencies, and bypassed the required approvals. Lawsuits sprang up accusing Trump of violating the Historic Preservation Act and ignoring federal review. But demolition crews pressed on, 24/7. Even the Treasury Department right next door quietly told its employees, no photos, no video, no questions. So who is bankrolling this palace? The mystery only thickens. The White House swears the project is privately funded, free of taxpayer cost, and boasts a donor dinner with billionaires, tech titans, and construction giants. Leaked pledge lists cite names like Amazon, Alphabet, Apple, Meta, and defense contractors, many of whom quietly lobbied for government contracts or deregulation. Some reports even tie part of the funding to a $22 million payout from a YouTube lawsuit. Trump himself admitted he and friends have personally kicked in, but the actual amount is hidden, critics say, for maximum deniability. To some, the project is breathtaking, a marvel of architecture, bulletproof glass, a seating capacity of 999, and a design echoing Versailles and Mar-a-Lago. Trump wants it as the nation's new home for statecraft supporters, invited for tours of the renderings, rave that it's putting America back on top. Critics, however, see it as the people's house being sacrificed for one man's legacy. Massive protests erupted, city streets filled with banners reading "No Kings." Lawmakers and historians called it the most dramatic erasure of tradition since the War of 1812. Trump shrugged off the backlash, claiming the protesters don't understand greatness. Meanwhile, the ballroom's ostentatious design, gold columns, marble floors, custom art, spurred even more debate. Trump wants bulletproof glass, private entrances, exclusive elevators, and a visitor's hall of presidents lined with portraits chosen by him. There's even talk of hosting future inaugurations in the new venue. Insiders hinted the entire East Wing complex will eventually be modernized and rebuilt, meaning Trump's mark will last long after he's gone from office. History buffs point out this isn't the first dramatic White House upgrade. Thomas Jefferson built colonnades, Roosevelt added the West Wing, and Harry Truman literally rebuilt the whole mansion from the inside out. What sets Trump apart, they say, is the breakneck speed, size, and symbolism. A palace raised from the ruins of an entire wing, launched during a government shutdown, and embraced as a personal legacy. The real question isn't architecture. It's about power, how much a president can do when rules and tradition are swept aside. Trump aims to finish before 2029. Experts, though, call the deadline wildly optimistic, noting White House projects usually stretch on for years, not months. Every generation gets a moment that defines what democracy means. For millions watching now, this demolition and construction might be that moment. So what do you think? Is Trump's $300 million ballroom the boldest act of patriotism in modern history? Or the most outrageous shrine to personal ego ever built on public land? Add your voice in the comments and subscribe for more stories that shake up the status quo. Sometimes what's called restoration is really revolution, and this time it comes with marble, gold, and a new American palace.